Well, Manipur was in the Supreme Court today, and as expected, it was in the Parliament today, and there was no end to the deadlock over the debate on Manipur. That continues. There was sloganeering and chants against the BJP-led central government. It echoed in both the houses today as well. Now, a short-duration discussion over Manipur began in the Rajya Sabha. At 2 o'clock, that is what Piyush Goyal declared, that 2 o'clock is going to be that discussion. But the opposition wasn't agreeable. The opposition disrupted the House, insisting on a discussion under Rule 267. Essentially, that means they don't want a short-duration discussion. They want a full, long discussion on the issue. They are also demanding the Prime Minister's statement over the same. The opposition, in fact, chanted slogans of Pradhan Mantri's Sadan Mein Aao. Responding to the opposition's behavior, the Rajya Sabha chairperson Jagdeep Dhankar said that their actions were disgraceful and that the nation is watching these parliament proceedings.
We are not setting a good example to the entire nation. The entire nation is watching us. The government is ready for a discussion on Manipur. We want to start discussion right now. It is most unfortunate that on 20th of July, precious time of the House has not been utilized. People have to pay heavily for this. We are ridiculing ourselves, sending a very, very dangerous signal to the world outside. As upper house, it is our prime obligation to set an example of serving public interest. We are far from it at the moment. I appeal to all the members to kindly take their seats so that we can discuss the listed business, and that is issue in Manipur.
आपने अनुमति दे चुकी है। मेरा निवेदन इतना ही है, अगर मणिपुर में ये रियली सीरियस है तो ये पॉलिटिक्स अगर नहीं करना चाहते हैं तो चर्चा शुरू करने दो सर। हम तुरंत चर्चा करने के लिए तैयार हैं और हमारा गृह मंत्री जो 3 से ज्यादा दिन तक उधर रुके हुए थे, हमारा MOA स्टेट फॉर होम, he was there for 23 days. It never happened during their period. Oh, we are ready for the discussion, sir. Right now, we government is ready for the discussion. Whether they are serious or not, let them tell it to the country, sir.
And in a strongly worded attack on the Prime Minister, TMC MP Derek O'Brien slammed him for his silence on Manipur, citing examples of his predecessors who had agreed to discussions in the Parliament. The TMC MP said that Prime Minister Modi is arrogant. While the government has agreed to a discussion, Mr. O'Brien is saying that the opposition doesn't want a Maggi noodle type 2-minute discussion, but a full-fledged one. Listen in.
Mr. Prime Minister, who the hell do you think you are? Pandit Nehru has come and spoken in Rajya Sabha on a serious subject and participated in the debate. Atal Bihari Vajpayee has come and discussed the subject in the Rajya Sabha. Dr. Manmohan Singh has come, and even Mr. Rajiv Gandhi came and discussed Bofors when he was falsely accused. He had the guts to come and discuss Bofors in the Rajya Sabha. 4 examples I've given you. And Mr. Prime Minister, you're so arrogant. You have a heart of stone. The women and children of Manipur, the people of Manipur are suffering. They don't want a Maggi noodles 2-minute discussion, 2 घंटा का discussion. ये नहीं चलेगा. We want a full-fledged discussion. Yes.
Under Rule 267.
We want a full-fledged discussion under an emergency rule called 267.
आपको क्या अभी संकोच किस वजह से? आखिरकार आप ही तो अभी तक डिमांड कर रहे थे कि इसके ऊपर चर्चा होना चाहिए। पहले से हम तैयार थे, अभी लिस्ट भी हो गया है, अभी नाम भी लिस्ट आउट करके आज शुरू कर रहे हैं। अभी आने के लिए आप तैयार नहीं हैं। इससे मैं मीडिया के द्वारा भारत में हर नागरिक को ये जानकारी देना चाहती हूँ। विपक्ष अब तक जो मणिपुर के ऊपर क्रोकोडाइल टीयर्स शेड कर रहे थे, ये अभी स्पष्ट हो गया है। हाँ, क्रोकोडाइल टीयर्स ही थे वो। जेन्युइनली मणिपुर के ऊपर चिंता है तो अभी कोई रुकावट होना नहीं चाहिए, सीधा आकर चर्चा करना चाहिए था।
Let me go straight across to Shiv Sena MP Priyanka Chaturvedi, who is joining us on the broadcast. Priyanka, first things first, what are your views about what has happened in the Supreme Court today?
I think Supreme Court's intervention was much needed simply because the women of Manipur haven't been able to get the justice that they seek. It is the women of Manipur, the two women whose video had gone viral, have gone to the Supreme Court with regards to wanting a judicial probe. So I think the remarks are, the comments coming from the Chief Justice also heartening, simply because here you have an entire machinery at work, government machinery at work, which is trying to justify crimes against women vis-a-vis the mob violence and organized violence against women that we are seeing in Manipur. And that has been clearly differentiated by the Chief Justice, and hoping that the Supreme Court would intervene where the government has been unable to bring peace to Manipur.
The women in the video have, through an affidavit via their advocate Kapil Sibal, said that we don't trust the CBI, and the Supreme Court seems to be suggesting that there could be a panel consisting of retired women judges and male judges to oversee crimes against women that have been committed in Manipur. Do you think right now that then becomes the best idea? The Supreme Court is yet to say anything clear on that, but do you think then that will be a good idea?
No, firstly, with regards to all-women panel, you know, it is the decision of the Supreme Court. However, I think it is high time that even men are included in this space, simply because they need to be sensitized to the kind of differences that we are seeing in crimes against women in other states vis-a-vis the organized mob violence. It is a matter of, you know, involving the men and making them understand that you cannot use violence as a tool against women to have your voices heard or to have your point made. This is one of the most shameful episodes that have been witnessed by the nation, that a crime as heinous as that was reported on 4th of May, 0 FIR filed on 18th of May, the Home Minister visits on 29th of May, and yet there is no arrest made until and unless the video that has gone viral does not, you know, outrage the entire nation and forces the government to act. The second point is, it is about seeking accountability. People of Manipur are seeking accountability from their Prime Minister, they are seeking accountability from their Chief Minister. And there's only a limited intervention that the Supreme Court can have. It has to be the government machinery, the central government and the state government, which needs to be put to task. And that I'm hoping will happen in times to come. And I'm also hoping that the Prime Minister will come and speak in the Parliament and agree for a discussion, whether it is in the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, on this particular issue.
In fact, today there was a censure by the Supreme Court for an advocate who brought up rapes in West Bengal, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan, saying they can't be compared.
So this is something I have been saying repeatedly, that yes, of course, you can hold the governments accountable in terms of rising crimes against women. You can hold the chief ministers responsible for not prioritizing it. However, in this particular case of Manipur, there's an organized mob violence against women. These women did not get justice till their video was not out there in public domain. There were internet bans for over months, which kept away the information coming from Manipur. It is that their chief minister has gone on record to say there are thousands of such cases that have been filed in Manipur. Today, the Supreme Court also said out of the 6,000 FIRs, you need to tell us how many FIRs are specifically with regards to violence against women. And thousands of homes burned down, thousands of people living in relief camps, over 150 people dead, 90 days of violence, and you're comparing it. It's a shame that there was somebody who came to defend it through their whataboutery. It speaks badly of the person who stood up and started to do whataboutery in defense of the government of India.
Okay, now to the question that the BJP is asking the opposition. Today, Piyush Goyal stood up in the Rajya Sabha and said 2 o'clock is when the debate on Manipur begins. Why did the opposition stall it?
So the impasse can get over tomorrow itself, if the Prime Minister agrees to come to the floor of the House and address to the people of the country and take questions from the members of Parliament. And with regards to Piyush Goyal coming and announcing 2 p.m. discussion, 2 p.m. we must understand, in the parliamentary democracy of India, first time ever Rajya Sabha saw over 65 notices by members of parliament, that means 65 MPs, requesting the chair that there should be a discussion under 267. Now, what is rule number 267? It is part of our parliamentary procedure, rules that are handed out to us as soon as we take oath to the chair, where we said that 267 would ensure that there is a participation of all members of parliament. There are 30 political parties in the Rajya Sabha. They all need their fair share to be able to speak. Out of the 30 political parties, 11 representatives from that went in that all-party delegation, India delegation, visited Manipur. 11 of them are from Rajya Sabha. So their experiences need to be heard. What are the people of Manipur saying? What are the people of Manipur expecting? And for the Prime Minister to come and answer to all the questions put across to him. So what they are trying to scuttle it under is a Rule 176. Now, what is Rule 176? Rule 176 is a short duration discussion which can maximum last for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, whatever. It does not have the Prime Minister answering your questions, and it will not be able to have enough time to be able to dissect and talk about what is happening for past 90 days in Manipur. All we are saying is, if the government is doing its job, let it come and explain to us on the floor of the House. Let the Prime Minister respect the parliamentary democracy of this nation. Do not consider himself above the nation or above the parliamentary democracy or the parliament. So he has to come and speak. And this is not the first time a Prime Minister will come and speak on a 267 notice. There have been instances of former Prime Ministers coming and speaking under 267 notice. This is for the Rajya Sabha. And as far as the no confidence motion is concerned, there have been instances in the past where no confidence motion has been moved against a Prime Minister who enjoyed absolute majority. They came and explained themselves in the parliament on the floor of the House. So this Prime Minister, why should there be an exemption for this Prime Minister? Is he any different from all the earlier elected Prime Ministers? No. There have been instances of absolute majority enjoyed by the Prime Minister, but they still held themselves accountable to the highest authority of the land, which is the Parliament.
But why insist on the Prime Minister speaking when the Prime Minister and his party have already accepted the no confidence motion?
No, don't repeat yourself by trying and, with this whataboutery that they have already accepted. I've already given you the difference. I've told you the 267 talks about a detailed discussion where the Prime Minister can come and answer, and he should be coming and answering. We do not want a short duration discussions. It would be unfair to all smaller parties who want to speak about Manipur, will not be given a chance to speak or be heard. They're trying to scuttle the entire discussion. Now, what about, oh, listen, they have, accepted the no confidence motion. So let's put it for discussion. Let's put it up for a vote. How can you pass bills after bills? Well, there is a no confidence motion pending against this government. Any Supreme Court in the world will actually dismiss any of these bills that have been passed simply because a no confidence motion has to be heard on a priority. So accepting it and not starting a discussion on it is absolutely ridiculous. So that is our problem, and there is no whataboutery in this.
Okay, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much, Priyanka, for joining us on this broadcast.